houses this weekend, Mike. So many open houses this weekend. 18, 19 open houses to go see, but not just, these are the ones we're going to showcase today and feature, but there's 508 open houses all across the greater Montreal.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I invite you to reach out to us if you want the other ones, because we're going to show you 19, but there's 508, as I said. Now, we're going to talk about the real estate market also, but before we do that, Mike, and I want your opinion, I'm Etienne Mellor, owner of 3 real estate agencies across the greater Montreal, and I'm with my friend here and business director, Mike Francois. Let's jump right into it because we have some nice ones this week. 100 Easton.
Beatrice Baudinet and her team following through with Lily Lee that has four open houses this weekend.
The energy, Mike, I feel it.
2660 Ontario East, 1971 Rue du Havre, 377 381 Clark, and 115 Richardson. 4
properties, 1 broker. How can she even be at the 4 properties, you ask? We're going to answer that in a minute. But first, let's dive into what's going on with the real estate market in the greater Montreal. First-time buyers are back.
They're back.
In a big way, Mike.
Yeah.
Not in an ordinary, huge way. Why? What's going on?
Listen, the interest rates coming down really fired things up because now they've got the capacity to buy. So we're seeing multiple offers across the board. I'm getting phone calls every day, brokers saying, what do I do? What do I do? I'm in 3rd place, 4th place. So it's important for you to pay attention to these things.
Yes.
Get yourself a real estate broker. Get yourself a mortgage broker to find out what is your capacity of spending. Get in contact with us and we'll make it happen for you.
Okay, now go back to the properties of the weekend. Now, some are Saturday, some are Sunday, but most of them are going to be Sunday between 2 and 4. Let's look at 5 more properties, starting with, again, Lily Lee.
Again, Lily Lee at 1400 Rene Levesque. And then we're following through with Michael Riva, 1420 Mont Royal.
Speaking of Saturday, Mont Royal is going to be open on Saturday also, as well as Sunday. Let's keep on going with Camellia Fati.
We have Camellia Fati. There's a beautiful project in Ville Saint Laurent that will give you access to property for people who may not have the down payment right away. You could rent to own. I don't know the details about it, but I would suggest you get
I'm going to give you an idea of what it is, but we're going to talk about financing in a minute. But before we do that, let's talk about that project, because that project, Mike, is one where you can actually rent to own. So a portion, not all, a portion of your rent goes towards the purchase price that's predetermined and set for a future date. So that's very interesting.
Very interesting.
For someone, when we talk about financing, pre-qualifying, it just opens the possibility to ownership for more people.
Exactly. Then we're following through with Serge Gabriel, 2 properties, one at 1484 Old Orchard and 4943 Jean Briand.
All right, so talking about affordability, talking about financing, how do we go about starting the process? Now, everybody knows, oh, well, I need a mortgage. Most people need a mortgage. But how do you pick it? Do you go with the 5 major financial institutions? Do you go with a mortgage broker? How do I make that decision?
Well, I actually think it's probably a better idea to go with a mortgage broker. Why? Because every time you deal with each financial institution, they'll have to do a credit check with which to damage your credit bureau rating.
And I'm going to disagree with you on that one, because it just depends on the scenario, in my opinion. If you're self-employed, if you have a situation that's a bit out of the common, maybe go with what you just said. I will agree with that, Mike. But if you have a steady job, you've been employed for many years, you have good credit, you're already dealing with a certain financial institution, then why not just go with them first? Now, before you continue, and I know you have something important to say, I'm going to say to you, look, come to us with what your situation is, and we will be in a position to guide you as to which one we think you should start with.
The reason why I say this is because you may be dealing with your bank for a long time. It does not mean that the next bank won't give you a better rate. So it's important that you're able to shop around. So to shop around and avoiding damaging your credit on every hard check, if you have a mortgage broker, he could check all banks for you and give you the better deal.
That's a good point, Mike. Thank you for clarifying that. Let's continue with some more properties that are going to be on open houses this weekend, mostly on Sunday between 2 and 4 o'clock.
So we have four properties from Marie Van Paint and her team. One at 5090 Glen Cane, 349 Woodcroft, and then we have 5621 Canterbury.
Now, there's another one, but before you, I want to say something. When you go on social media, you want to be blown away, you want to be entertained. Am I correct or am I wrong? You have to go see Marie Van Paint's website. It's mypaint.ca. Be ready to be blown away.
Absolutely.
You're going to see some of the most beautiful properties in Montreal, or the greater Montreal. Take a minute and go visit mypaint.ca. You won't regret it.
And last but not least on the list, we have
so we looked and we saw some properties that are new properties that we showed you today.
Yeah.
We have the resale property. I'm considering one versus the other. What, as a buyer, should I look for between resale and new construction?
Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It depends on the person. Some people want something a little bit brand new, more modern. You don't have to do any kind of renovations or anything like that. You got to keep in mind that when you're getting brand new, especially if it's going to be built, it won't be ready right away. They usually use progressive payments, that kind of stuff, and it might not always be the way you want it. You got the taxes to add on it. So, and on top of that, you might not be on the island of Montreal. You might have to go to the outskirts to get something like that. So it all depends on a lot of different factors.
And we can still help you with new construction. There's a misconception that real estate brokers don't work with new construction. That's absolutely false. All or almost all builders, promoters, developers have partnerships with us, so we can accompany you even though you're looking for new construction. But let's talk about why you're considering one versus the other, and let's see if we think it's the best scenario for you. Same for the financing. So new construction, resale, there's not right or wrong. No. It's really dependent upon what you're looking for, what you hope to get out of the property, and for how long.
Exactly.
Let's continue with our last segment of new, not new, open houses for this weekend with Yasser Sayed.
Yasser Sayed. So 16460 Napoleon Brisebois. We have our buddy Alec Rafa at 1055 Anderson. Continuing on, we got 754 Maine with Baudinet and her team. We have 445 Musso Vermette with Yang Yang. And to top it all off, we have Chantal Melki.
Okay, so most of these houses that we've shown you today are newer properties that we just listed this week on Wednesday-ish, or in the last 7 days.
Yes.
They're going to go fast. We just talked about the market, how first-time buyers are jumping on, how financing is more accessible, how there's more options out there for you as a buyer to facilitate accessibility to these properties. So don't waste time. Go visit these homes, get a feel for the market. Okay, that's the most important part before you go and commit and make a decision on buying any of these properties. If you want more properties across the greater Montreal, different areas, you reach out to us, you call us, you DM us, or you email us with no obligation. We'll send you these lists of properties. I want to remind you that if you want to be in with the first properties hitting the market, you got to tune back in. Same time, same platform. Next week, Wednesday, 10:30, we're going to show you some fresh new properties also in all different areas of the greater Montreal. Some mind-blowing properties.
It is. And furthermore, I'd like to add, buying a home is not an emotional decision. So it's important that you do have people that are educated in the matter to help you make a decision based on facts and situations. So get in contact with us, send us a DM, send us an email, give us a call, whatever it is, get in contact with us and we'll help you reach your goals.
And we'll see you next Wednesday, 10:30 for some new properties. All the best for the weekend, Mike.
Have a good weekend, everybody.